So I've first turned to the introductions. Bishop Humphrey Peters has led the Diocese of Peshawar since 2010, and that diocese covers the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which is along the Afghan border. And this is the province that has borne the brunt of extremist violence, including against Christians, over the past 20 years. Bishop Humphrey has also served as moderator of the Church of Pakistan, which is subcontinental language for being the archbishop or the presiding bishop. He's been a member of the Anglican Communion's Primate Standing Committee. He's been a pioneer in the formation of the Anglican Alliance, and he has been vice chair of the Pakistan Council of World Religions, also known as Faith Friends. His theological studies were undertaken at Ripon College, Cuddesdon at Oxford in England. Reagan Cooke is the vice rector of the Church of St. John the Divine, a very large parish in Houston, Texas. And he is the longtime chair of Bridges to Pakistan, a Texas-based mission agency that supports the ministries of the Diocese of Peshawar. Reverend Robin Reeves has been committed to the Church of Pakistan since she visited the Diocese of Peshawar during her studies at the Seminary of the Southwest in Austin, during my time as president there. And she's a longtime member of Bridges to Pakistan. She has served as rector of St. Timothy's Episcopal Church in Lake Jackson, Texas, since 2022. Over to you, Bishop Humphrey, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Titus. It's a joy, it's a blessing that you have given me the opportunity to share about Pakistan and the little bit problems and tensions that we have to face almost every day. It's not the first time, thank you for the Global Episcopal Mission Network for giving me this opportunity. And thanks to all the friends who are here. I hope you can hear me, Titus.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
This is good. And thank you, Nelson, for keeping me in touch with all these things. Really grateful to you. Yeah. Pakistan is going through a difficult stage. Right now, there's a big political unrest and excuse me. Sorry. Sorry, Bishop Manu is there. I don't know why.
Bishop Mano is there?
Yeah, Bishop Manu is there, but he's calling, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Rummel for everyone's information. Bishop Humphrey's predecessor.
Yeah.
The Bishop of Peshawar, and a good friend of us.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to switch it off. I'll talk to. He's in Peshawar nowadays, and we are delighted that he is with me and going to the different areas with me, especially into the former tribal areas. We just inaugurated one of the church, consecrated and dedicated church in Bajor. Titus, you must be knowing the area Bajor from where the first drone attack started when Afghan refugees were here and the Taliban started their work. So this is it. Now, as I was telling, Pakistan is going to a very difficult situation right now. Politically, there's a lot of unrest. And this unrest is also affecting the religious minorities in Pakistan, and very much Christians as well. It's sad that recently we had elections and we cannot elect our own representative. The minorities cannot. The big main parties, they elect people from the minority community. Now, obviously, anybody who knows them, who likes them, or in other words, well, their favorite, they elect it, and it becomes very difficult. And right now, majority they have selected, I would say, majority is selected from Hindu and Sikh community, very few Christians. And this was we are very sad about it. And because we say that we still claim that Christians are more, and Christians are extending their services to beautify Pakistan. And we are the pioneers in health, education, and we are also pioneer in the community-based services, mentally handicapped, physically handicapped children, autistic children, and all these things. The church is the pioneer. But it is sad that the mindset is not changing, and we are not very happy about it. We are trying to work on it, and hope things may change or may not change. We cannot predict, because they are getting from bad to worse. And situation, in fact, uh, got deteriorating. It started deteriorating right from the beginning. As we know that Pakistan was created on 14th of August and 1947. And at that time, in the India, it was the United India at that time, and it was decided that there should be a land for the Muslim minorities at that time. And for that Muslim minorities, they created Pakistan, and Pakistan had two parts. One was West Pakistan, where we are living now, and other was known as the East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh right now. So initially, when Pakistan was created, it was known as the Republic of Pakistan. It is worth noticing that it was known as Republic of Pakistan. And the founder of Pakistan on 11th August 1947 categorically emphasized that all the religions will be having their freedom in Pakistan. And then they can practice their own faith. And it is also written in our constitution. There are about 15 to 16 clauses to protect the religious minorities in Pakistan. But none of those are practically implemented. And Pakistan was created in 1947. It's a long time now, but still we are struggling for our basic constitutional rights, the Pakistani religious minorities. So in later on, this when our founder of Pakistan said that every religion has the freedom, and they have to practice their own religion. And Pakistan was created in the name of Republic of Pakistan. And in 1948, February 1948, addressing to the American people, he very clearly told that Pakistan is not going to be a theocratic state. It will be for every religion. And but what happened in March 23rd, 1956, when Pakistan was creating its constitution, so name of Republic was changed into Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And then the situation started deteriorating and disturbing. And later on, uh, more and more Islamic teaching were introduced. At that time, I told you that 1956, still Pakistan was divided into two parts. One was West Pakistan, another was East Pakistan, Bangladesh now. So together, these two parts had about uh, 33 million total population. 33 million. It is worth noting. As I told you, that it is important to that shift from the Republic to Islamic Republic. There was clearly indication that all the religions have got equal rights. But when they started in 56, it was changed from Republic to Islamic Republic. There were about, as I told you, 33 million people together in both parts. And both parts were, in between is the India. They were, far away, 1,000 miles across. One part was 1,000 miles across, and the other was here in West Pakistan. In between was India. And at that time, the religious minorities were 23%. It means that Muslim population was about 77% or something like that, while the minority communities were 23%. And these constitute Hindus and Christians and Sikhs and some other religions as well. And out of these 23%, Christians were around 14% in Pakistan, both in East Pakistan. Majority was in West Pakistan, where we are living right now. In 1971, I have to give you these details, the history, how this journey, towards indifferences and hostile environment started. So in 1971, Bangladesh was separated. From East Pakistan, it became Bangladesh right now. It is very interesting, very, very interesting to note that Bangladesh has not changed their name. There was a move in their Supreme Court that it should also be called as Islamic Republic of Bangladesh. But the Supreme Court very clearly, categorically refused to do it. A new state created in 1971, but they never planned to go towards the extremism or fundamentalism, or whatever we may call it. I told you that two parts had the 33 million people. Right now, one part, which is Islamic Republic of Pakistan right now, we have got about 242 million people living in Pakistan. Whereas they were 33, now only in one part there are 242 million living in Pakistan. And out of these, from 23% minorities, now there are hardly 5% minorities, religious minorities in Pakistan. And out of, there used to be 14% Christians, and Christians are hardly 2.5% now, which is very disturbing. And this was, many have migrated, many have, gone somewhere, and there's a big demographic change as well. So these things started from there. And if we just simply reflect on the whole situation, it was very clear that the Pakistan is going to be, open for all religion and every religion. And it is in our constitution that everyone can exercise their religion and their, faith as well. But it is not in practical. It is very difficult. Very, very difficult. You can't make your own churches. You can't build churches. You have to build churches under the name of right now community center. And later on, you have to change it into worship centers. So this is a situation right now. And the diminishing percentage of religious minority is very, very alarming, very disturbing for us. And for that, we are trying to struggle. We are trying our level best with friends like you people all to maintain our survival and existence in Islamic Republic of Pakistan. But still, it's a very big challenge, a very big difficulty. And Titus, you must be knowing the Edwards College scenario. It has once again come up, and I just wrote in a very, very strong letter to the governor of our province just 3 days back. And again, the agencies and everything are into the picture. And let's see how the situation will come up. So the initially the overall mindset of majority Muslim community was not all that bad. But it started deteriorating in 70s when there was a martial law, and General Ziaul Haq was there, and he really wanted to bring Islam in Pakistan. And since military rule was there, it was very easy for them to, you know, force the Islamic ideology and Islamic teaching in Pakistan, which further deteriorated the situation for the religious minority. Then what happens that in 1979, the Afghan refugees come to Pakistan. And predominantly, they were in our area, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, because it is close to Afghan border and connected to Afghan border. Alongside these Afghan refugees came. And as we all know, they were fleeing from the Soviet-Afghan war. There was Soviet-Afghan war, and they were fleeing from that war. But the fight against Russians started under the umbrella of that this is a fight between Muslims and non-believers. Non-believers could be anyone, whether they are Christian, Hindus, or anything. And they said that non-believers are the infidels, and they need to be, the jihad, the holy war should be there, and they should be killed. So they brought all these ideas and extremist idea and the fundamentalized ideas from Afghanistan, and they started, propagating that idea in our tribal areas. Innocent people, lack of education, and a lot of disturbance. So this thing started growing. From there, when it started growing, and then it infiltrated into, and it came into a bigger city as well later on. And then what happened that nobody knew that the Taliban movement and Al Qaeda movement. Al Qaeda, as I don't know whether you know, Al Qaeda was made in Peshawar, where I am sitting right now. It was made in Peshawar, and then it spread it all over. And Taliban are still here. Day before yesterday, there was a fight between 2 days before, fight between Pakistan Army, and they killed about 7 Pakistan Army soldiers. Previously, they killed about 25 soldiers. And then there was a strategic strike by Pakistan Air Force into Afghanistan, into the Taliban area. So this is the situation. The extremism and fundamentalism and militancy has really increased in Pakistan. And somehow it is very sad that we call that it is a top-down approach. And I don't know, it's very, we get really disturbed that government, despite having a very good army, very good this system, intelligence system, very good military, Still, they cannot control it. It's very sad. I told you on Sunday we went to Bajor for the dedication and consecration of a new church, and I told you that it's a tribal area, still very difficult area, but thank God we have managed to. There's a church there, and we are really delighted that we have managed. And it's a 3 hours drive from Suat Mengora. Suat Mengora is the place for Malala Yousafzai as well, as you know. And with your support, all of you, especially to Bridges of Pakistan and other friends, now we have got a proper worship place that we have bought. And we are planning to construct a proper church over there. So to further strengthen the presence of the church in those areas. Because Swat is also very difficult area where Malala was shot, Malala Yousafzai was shot. So this is the situation, and these things started. The shift of the mindset started from right from 1956, and nobody stopped it. And the the what do you call it, the uh, um, indifferences and hostile attitude was apparent in 1997 when they put on fire a whole village in Pakistan, Punjab area, Christian village. And this village was Shanti Nagar. And after that, there are 30 more incidences. And in a press conference, myself and the Archbishop of Roman Catholic, we were having a press conference in Islamabad. And in press conference, I very clearly told that nothing positive has taken place. And still as I told you, it's a top-down approach. No constructive, no constructive law or any regulation has been made against those militants who really put on the churches, put on the villages on fire. I told you from 1997 to till now, there are almost 30 to 31 incidences. And latest was in last year on 16th of August 2023 in Jarawala. Our diocese, thank God that with the support of the partners and everyone, before Christmas, our diocese helped those people with cash money. Yesterday, our people came back and they helped before Easter people, because 85 houses were put on fire and 25 worship places. And in those worship places, mostly belonging to to Pentecostals, but there was a Roman Catholic Church, Salvation Army Church, and FGA Church, big churches, because I went there 3 4 times. So they was also put on fire, and it's a very bad situation, Jaramala. Government promised that we are going to reconstruct the houses, and they have done hardly 20 to 25% work. Nothing's been done. So still people are, and on the top, the psychological trauma that they are going through. What is going to happen next? What is going to happen tomorrow? Everybody is scared of that. And why? Because there is no punishment for those people who do all these things. And these are the militant groups, extremist group, backed by Taliban, backed by ISIS, backed by Daesh. Daesh and ISIS have got their headquarters in Afghanistan right now. They're next one. And they have started targeted killing, in the Daesh and, excuse me, the ISIS. They have started their targeted killing, and they killed about Sikh people from the Sikh religion, and they attacked 5 Christians. One killed, he was our lay pastor from one of our churches. for my churches, and four were badly injured. So this is the situation through which we are going, and we are still asking government, where are our basic constitutional rights? Where is our protection? Where are our minority rights? We Do you consider us Pakistanis, or we are second or third class of Pakistanis? How do you take us? So still the thing is going on, and the disturbing factor is that we don't have a voice in parliament. These are just selected people who can't. It becomes very difficult. They work according to their big parties who come into the force, and who come into the government. This so politically, socially, obviously, church is very. The other people don't have any opportunity, economic opportunity, so where the church will go. That's another problem. The third thing is this, that the legislation is not really siding us. And Titus, as you know, what happened to the Edwards College. We won the case. We won the cases everywhere, even from the Supreme Court. But they restarted it, redesigned it, and remanaged it. And this is the condition, through which we are going, and it becomes very difficult, and we really don't know who is going to listen to us. Thank God, with the pressure of the UN and other people, Asia Bibi was released. Just for nothing, she was kept in prison for 10 years. And she was waiting for her death, because they put a death penalty on her. But thank God she was out. So still, this thing is not clear in Pakistan. Despite that, for our own survival and for our own existence, we are trying to do the interfaith harmony thing. We are propagating the tolerance. The church is pioneer again in it. And also, we are trying to go for the reconciliation, everything. But it can't be one-sided. It has to be from both sides. Whenever you talk to these high-ups, after the recent Jadawala burning of the houses, we went to Army Chief, we went to Prime Minister, we went to President, everyone. And the end result is that Islam protects everyone. And anyone who will be against Islam, I mean, the extremists, and they have the right to protect it. But who has given them the right to kill others? You know, we have got our right as well to protect our own religion. So these are the things, and very interestingly, ironically rather, when Pakistan was created, there was a vote. The Punjab province is the biggest province. Still, we have got 54% people living in Punjab province. So there was a voting on that in United India in 1946, 47, that whether the Punjab province will come to Pakistan or will go to India, present India. And there were three deciding votes, and those votes were by Christians. And everyone was looking at them, that where are they going to vote, for India or for Pakistan? And there was a very big slogan. In Urdu, it is little different, but I'll try to translate into English. The Congress, the Hindu Congress, said anybody who is going to ask for the Pakistan, they will be given Kabristan. You know, Titus, Kabristan, the graveyard. And the Christians, these three Christians who were in parliament, they said, we will we will face all kind of bullets on our chest, but we'll go for Pakistan. These were the three deciding votes that really created Pakistan. And first flag in 1940, 14th August in Europe was by the Christian. He was from Rawalpindi. So many, the first Chief Justice of Supreme Court, Christian. First Army Chief, Christian. The whatever they've got, the economic reforms by Christians. There was Victor Turner was the person who made it. And then the Central Superior Services for the Government, designed by Christians. And now, whenever there are natural calamities, there was a floods recently, even bridges to Pakistan. They helped in those floods, and we were there. The church is in the forefront. So, despite all these things, the mindset is not changing, and we are worried about it. They never thought that the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Religious Affairs, and the Ministry of Interior, they should three sit together, do some brainstorming, and see how these things can be stopped. But they're not serious. They're not serious in it. So it's a big question, but thank God, still I say, thank God for keeping church in these hostile environment. It's not for only us who are sitting here as Christians. It is good for them as well. Because they know, or for my Palm Sunday, I'm going to the tribal area. Again, for my Good Friday, I'll be in Swat. But when they know that these Christians are there, and all the time we carry our cross, we are wearing crosses, all of us, we wear it. And we want to make them realize, listen, we are part of Pakistan. We created Pakistan. We beautified Pakistan. And it is our right to demand our basic constitutional right. It is our right for our survival. It is our right for our existence. We have created Pakistan, not you people. You people are the migrants. In Sakardu area in northern Pakistan, they found a cross, a big cross made of stone. And it is said that the St. Thomas came through the Silk Route. And it is really, really a very big cross. If we go to the net and find the biggest cross in northern Pakistan, you will see. And it is, I'll show you. If you can see it right in the middle, this one. This is St. Thomas's cross. The original cross is still sitting in Lahore Cathedral. This is Lahore Diocese Cathedral. It is still there, the original cross. It's a huge cross that was really made of stone and everything, and it is there in Skardu. It came, and they said that came with St. Thomas. So Christians are, and these Muslim migrants, they started coming in 1620, 1616 or something. But the cross is from the time of Saint. That is why Mark Toma, this small denomination, is India as well. So these are the situations, but thanks God for keeping Pakistan Christians in the hostile situation. But it becomes the responsibility of the church that how living the global church, how living in our different places, how could we be a source of, even right now, even in the persecution, we could be a source of blessing to our neighbor. How could we be a really? And thanks to you all, thanks to Bridges to Pakistan, we are really, really proud that they are really helping us a lot in maintaining our existence and survival. And by God's grace, in our diocese, in my diocese, at least we have managed to, at the grassroots level, we have managed to reach the top class Mulanas. top class imams. And in a way, after all, they're human. They understand many things. And thank God that we have managed to maintain our own relationship and connection with them. And hopefully, the church will play its role, church, local church, and global church as a body of Christ. We all have to play our role to be a source of joy and blessing everywhere we are. You people have got your own challenges, but the church has to be a source of blessing over there. We people have got our own challenges, but the church has to be a source of joy and blessing for people over here. If we just leave them alone, they will turn into barbarians. And we don't want that God's creation to be turned into barbarians. Whatever the church can do, we have to do it. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time, and thank you for giving all this, opportunity, and thank you for listening to me patiently. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Humphrey. It's wonderful to hear you. And let me just testify that Bishop Humphrey was my colleague and also my boss in the Diocese of Peshawar, my 4 years there. And that was one of the most satisfying ministerial relationships I've had in my entire ministry. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Bishop Humphrey.
Thank you very
We're
much.
now to the Reverend Reagan Cooke, who is the longtime chair of Bridges to Pakistan and the longtime vice rector of the Church of St. John the Divine in Houston, Texas. Over to you, Reagan.
All right, now I'm unmuted. Thank you, Titus. Thank you, Humphrey, as always. I actually want to suggest that we turn it over to Robin right now because let me just tell you a quick story. I don't think the Bridges to Pakistan would exist if it were not for Robin coming to our world mission team at St. John the Divine and asking us to help fund her for a mission trip to Peshawar in January of 2005. And because of that bold ask, Bridges to Pakistan really came into existence. So if it's okay if I turn it over to her right now and let her tell her story, and then I can pick it up after that.
Thank you. Over to you, Robin.
Thank you, Reagan. I'm very humbled to even be speaking. The fact is that somewhere along the way, I was challenged in a course I took called Perspectives to ask God for a country that He would put on our heart to pray for. And I began praying that probably in my 30s. And boy, be careful what you pray for. And as God would have it, I met Bishop Mono, who's Bishop Humphrey's predecessor at St. John the Divine, where I was a member before I went to seminary. And he was telling the most incredible stories of how he was quitting his cushy job to go back to Pakistan to restart the hospitals and whatnot. And after 9/11, because all the expats had been pulled out of Pakistan. Fast forward, I left that day for seminary and thought, man, a bunch of seminaries should hear from this man because he's either crazy or he knows something about love that I don't know. And he's a little bit of both, honestly, I think. But he did his training with Mother Teresa. And so it was in the face of death that he went back to go back and serve in his homeland of Pakistan and the church there. And so it was that I kept bumping into him. And as God would have it, it turns out Pakistan was God's answer to my prayer of who is this country I'm to pray for. And as Reagan, to my surprise, when I went asking, can I go to Pakistan to complete this course requirement of going to a two-third world country and go really basically just take some love letters from the Christians over here to our Christian brothers and sisters there. And God had really impressed me. We're very isolated, and we were ignorant of their plight. And quite literally, it took children's letters from our church for this visit, and really had no idea what I was in for. And I think anyone who's gone there, while Pakistan can seem dirty and dusty in some ways, it stole my heart, as did Bishop Humphrey and Bishop Mano and the other Christians there, and their boldness to love their neighbor, even at the risk of their lives. And it was as I left that a seed of an idea came that maybe we would have this bridge of people coming and going. At the time, I thought it was going to be doctors. It turns out it's been a lot of priests going back and forth and other individuals. But while I feel like we have not done justice in giving more time and energy to our efforts, God has seen to keep it going in spite of us, I think. But what has come from that is exposing a lot more people to their plight, because we were able to bring priests to the seminary, as was requested by Bishop Mano. The seminary now, all the priests that came through that seminary know about Pakistan, and they have been able to take that message back to their church. And I say, at the very least, could we just add Pakistan to our prayers for other countries, for the Church of Pakistan? But there's so much more, and really just the fundamental need for them to have their basic human rights heard and acknowledged. And what I see is we are in a global situation. They're at the epicenter of the heat, but it's in our country, it's rising. And they have many lessons to teach us, I believe, about bold faith. So that's what I have to share, and it's an honor and privilege to see you, Bishop Humphrey, once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin. Back to you, Reagan.
Well, great. Well, Robin was so bold, and as we were talking about, would it be safe for Robin to go to Pakistan, I just got quiet and I kind of let the other members of the committee argue with each other. And all of a sudden, I just kind of had this vision that where does the gospel need to be right now? And if the gospel is not in Peshawar and on that border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, then what does Christianity have to offer the world? And so we moved forward in this. And then, much to my surprise, was what does the Diocese of Peshawar have to offer to St. John the Divine in Houston, Texas, and beyond St. John the Divine? But that was my church, still is my church. And what we got was just a phenomenal witness to the faith under persecution that people in Houston can't really even begin to imagine. And so my faith was strengthened through, first of all, Bishop Mano, and then others. And then as I got to come to know Humphrey over the years, that they believe in Jesus so strongly and know his presence in their lives that they stay where they are. And soon after Robin got back, another member of our church went. His name was Howard Castleberry. He went about 9 or 10 months later, right after a major earthquake in Pakistan. And when he got there, he and Bishop Mano discovered there was a Muslim village that had not been reached by the Red Crescent, and all of their homes had been destroyed. And Howard basically told me, Reagan, if we can raise about $15,000, we can house this village. And so I started reaching out to parishioners and friends, and pretty soon we raised money, and they were able to house that village. And I can't remember if it was that Christmas after that October in 2005 or if it was Christmas in 2006. Bishop Mono was celebrating on Christmas Day when the imam and leader of that village came in to Peshawar and into the middle of the service and gave Bishop Mono a hug. And he told me that his pectoral cross touched the heart of that imam there in the middle of the service and showed the love of Christ for people. And then that was another opportunity for me to understand that the gospel is so powerful in witness by loving and caring for one another. And again, I go back to these stories during my life, and that strengthens me as I move forward as a minister and as a priest in the church. And as time moved on, Bridges to Pakistan came into being, and we formed our own 501c3 in order to send money to Pakistan in an easier way. After more laws were put in place in the United States. And, I don't know over the years how much money Bridges has raised. One of these days I had to sit down and try to figure that out. But it may be close to $500,000 at this point. But the real blessing has been, I think, from the relationships that we have had, which have been so important. Anyway, that's just a little bit from me, and I'm happy to, converse more or answer people's questions that they may have about Bridges to Pakistan.
Thank you so much, Reagan and Robin. I'll just add a bit of my own testimony here at this point. I spent 4 years as principal of Edwards College in Peshawar, Pakistan during the last decade. And I went to Pakistan for three reasons. One was to be in solidarity with the Christian community, which I knew was very persecuted and in desperate straits. The second was to strengthen the contribution of the church to higher education in Pakistan. And the third was to learn more about God in the company of Muslims, because at Edwards College, while it's a Christian church-sponsored college, 90% of the students, staff, and faculty are Muslims. And so it was a deeply interreligious context and very fulfilling. But there were also tensions under the surface as the provincial government sought to gain control of the college or increase the control that it already had been exercising for some years. And Bishop Humphrey was mighty in that struggle, and I was supporting that struggle. And it appeared in the end that the government regarded me as an obstacle that could be removed since I was not a citizen. And so at one point I was actually in semi-internal exile with a Muslim friend in Islamabad because it was no longer safe for me to go to Peshawar. But at Bishop Humphrey's request, I went to Peshawar to appear in a court case that the church had launched. And on our way back out of the city to Islamabad, our car was held up by, as it turned out, agents of the Inter-Services Intelligence, which are the very menacing Pakistani military intelligence agency. And they took us aside, and two agents came into the back seat with me. They hustled me into their pickup truck, and an agent on either side of me with the head agent in the front. And the two began beating me. And the agent in the front ripped my work visa out of my passport, accused me of being a CIA agent, and threatened me with death if I did not leave the country or if I returned to the country having left. So I was pretty badly beaten. My Muslim host drove us back to Islamabad, and I was in internal exile for 3 months before being able to leave the country. As we drove away from that site, I prayed. And my prayer was, friend Jesus, I know that your people here, the disciples of Jesus in this country, have been experiencing this and much worse for many years. And I don't thank you for the beating, but I thank you for the experience of knowing a little bit of their suffering, knowing a little bit of their threat. And ironically, I felt that was a trauma, of course, but it was also a sense of blessing. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. And as I said in the devotion this morning, blessing is what confers the presence of Christ. And I felt both blessed in the midst of that persecution. So thank you, Bishop Humphrey. Thank you, Reagan. Thank you, Robin. Are there questions? I see one from Yusuf Sadiq.
Yes, we have one question from Yusuf Sadiq. What do you think is the reason for so many mob attacks in Punjab and not so much in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? Thank you.
Do you want me to answer it?
I think you're the
Yeah.
only one.
Yeah. Thing is this, that as I told you, that we have developed our very good relationship for our own survival's sake. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in our province, KP province, we call it. And we keep on meeting the imams, Maulanas regularly. Soon we are going to, they are having their Ramzan, and we are having our Lent. We had one, what do you call it, Aftar, we call it, the breaking of fast, just 2 days before in Rawalpindi and Christian Study Center. And again, we are having it. So it's the question now, how do you really manage to reach to the extremist and the fundamentalist? The very, very tough militants groups, I would say, we go to them, we talk to them, and we sit with them. We offer them a cup of tea and they offer us a cup of tea. So it's a question of developing your relationship and making everyone realize that we are also Pakistanis. We created Pakistan and we made it, and it is our right to be doing it, you know.
Thank you. We don't have any more questions at this time.
Actually, I posted one. I must have done it wrong.
Oh, did it end up in Q&A box is the one that we'll be posting questions to.
Sorry. Well,
But
let me
Robin-
just ask.
But Robin, yes, asks, how can we put pressure on the government there? Melania is on talk shows here. I know you have spoken with her. Can she help?
I think that's a question for Bishop Humphrey.
What is it? I can't. Can you repeat it, please?
Sure. How can we put pressure on the government there? Melania is on talk shows here. I know you have spoken with Melania. Can she help?
That is to say, Malana.
Milan. Oh, I'm sorry. Milana.
The local Maulanas over there, the religious leaders are known as Maulanas, Muslim religious leaders. Their priests, rather, are known as the Maulanas, you know. So I think it will be good to tell in the talk show the protection and the justice they are enjoying in Europe and America rather than in Pakistan, and
Uh,
their basic constitutional rights. The
Bishop,
Muslims are sorry, the American Muslims are enjoying.
I think Robin meant Malala Yousafzai.
yes, thank you. Yes, Bishop Mala, I can't say her name, but she is on top.
Malala. Malala.
Malala, yeah.
Yes.
And how might she help in raising the world's awareness? Because she's speaking out for education of girls, but there's a little bit more to the story of what's happening there that would be so lovely if she would share.
I think Malala and her father Zia Yousafzai, they understand the situation very well in of Pakistan because the church, the area, the worship place that even in the club, with the support of Bridges to Pakistan, we have bought in her birthplace, Mingora. So she understand it. I think she can really, really emphasize that there should be the basic constitutional rights for the religious minorities in Pakistan. They must be enjoying and they must be given the right as it is written in the Constitution. This is not anything extra we are demanding. We're simply asking that whatever is there in the Constitution, at least this ought to be given to us. And I don't know whether they will ever change the political system, the voting system, and bringing our representative into parliament where they can have their voice from the grassroots. I don't know whether Pakistan is ever going to do it, but this is another thing that if we have got a very strong voice in parliament, this can be a way forward as well. So Malala can work for our constitutional right, our minority rights, our human rights, and our place in Pakistan. This is it.
Another question is from Robin. Can you tell us about the Peace Center the Archbishop helped lay the cornerstone for?
Yeah. It's the question of the finances and it's a huge amount, and the Archbishop. So we are still looking around that if we can have, it is right in the middle of the city where there had a double suicide attack. It is in my diocese, it is my mother church. And there we want to have a peace center. We want to construct a peace center right in the middle of Peshawar city that everyone can have and live there. But it's a question of, finances and how to raise it. It is still a struggle and still a challenge for us. But we want to have it.
Thank you. Let's see, a note from Walter Brownridge. Thank you to all the panelists. This is more of a comment. It is great to hear the name Howard Castleberry, who was a student of mine when served as Associate Dean at Sewanee. I believe the first time Howard met Bishop Mano was in Sewanee. And Patrick, this is the last one we can comment on. Patrick Kidd says, I was really grateful for Bishop Humphrey's presentation. It filled in a lot of the gaps of my knowledge. How are some of the ways that the Bridges to Pakistan are creating awareness in their church in Texas? Robin, you're muted.
We have a lot of work to do, but a key part was in helping the seminary in the Southwest in Austin meet some of the Pakistani priests, and they very much feel kinship. And so since 2006, when I was there, graduated from there, there have been people being exposed to and learning about Pakistan through the priest. And so there's the opportunity to reach out to those folks. Part of what we do is when Bishop Humphrey is coming to the States, it's not just Pakistan. Well, we're in the Houston area. Many of us, it's really, our intention is for it to be not just Houston, but across the United States and even global, on people helping to support the Christians and raise awareness there. One of the challenges we have as a board is that most of us are priests and have churches to run. So we're working to get people that are not priests on the board to maybe share in some of the load, and maybe we could be a little bit more consistent in our help. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Reagan. Thank you, Bishop Peters, and to Titus also for his story and sharing in this plenary number 3, Mission Companionship Amid Persecution in Pakistan.